Wow, stories.
Am I the idiot for telling my niece I didn't want to be her father and following through? My sister and brother-in-law passed away 5 years ago, and I was left with her children, Eric, 11, Melissa, 14, and Lily, 7. I never wanted children, and honestly don't particularly like me. But my brother-in-law didn't like his siblings and his parents were abusive, while my parents are too old to raise children. So I was the best choice. It was hard and horrible, but I did it for my sister, and my nieces and nephew, even if I hated all the crying and parenting. They've all had therapy, and I've tried to be a good uncle and father figure. The younger two are mostly normal and well-behaved, but Melissa is a nightmare. Even with therapy, she always acts so rude and refuses to accept rules. I swear Melissa goes out of her way to do whatever she shouldn't. The big problem came up because last month Lily called me dad. I've always corrected her and said I'm her uncle, but this time she was really upset and said she loves me and wants to call me dad. Eric joined in saying it too. I felt it was weird but ended up allowing it, because fighting it clearly hasn't worked. Melissa took it horribly, and we ended up arguing. She basically said I'm not their dad and won't ever be and have no right. I tried to calm her down, but it didn't work and we both got angry. She said it would be better if they stayed with anyone else. I ended up telling her to stop being such a brat, and I never even want to be her anyway. She's only here because it's what my sister wanted, so I don't care if she doesn't see me as a dad. It didn't end well. The next day she tried to apologize and I told her it's fine and she doesn't have to worry about it again. That she wins and I'll just stay out of her life. Since then I just have not treated her in a fatherly way whatsoever. She doesn't have to do chores and stuff, but she also doesn't get an allowance or advice or help with homework or drive to friends and everything, since it's such a crime for me to be fatherly. Yesterday my parents came over and just ripped into me saying I'm being a poop parent/uncle and hurting Melissa. They've always been close to the kids even if they're not able to parent, and I guess Melissa complained about me. They say I have no right to say what I did and treat her like trash. But it's literally what she wanted. She said I'm worthless and have no right to be in her life. So I wasn't. It's not my fault she's not like her siblings. We agreed to disagree, but they clearly aren't happy with me and say that I need to grow up and that she's the child, not me. I know I'm not good with children, and I have made mistakes with them, and I certainly wasn't graceful this time. But I don't think this was that bad. She's constantly making a big deal about me not being her dad, so fine, I won't be. But it is possible I went too far without realizing, I guess. Am I an idiot? You're the idiot. You took on this role reluctantly enough. But it's parenting and you can't do it half-assed. Either you go all in or you make other arrangements, and not treating her fatherly in any way is childish. You are grown up. You should be a bigger person. This sounds like a lifetime subscription to a therapy situation. No idiots here. Let's be realistic. You are all traumatized. You are all trying to navigate your trauma, and it isn't easy for any of you. Try to remember the loss the children have suffered and how that may have impacted their brains as they grew. And also give yourself some grace and forgiveness as well. Yesterday may not have been perfect, but tomorrow can be better. Am I the idiot for banning my mom from my house after she brought resin and glitter in to make a point about my wife? My mom and my wife do not get along. That is actually an understatement. They can hardly manage to be in the same room, but we get along great with the rest of the family, as does my mom, and neither is willing to sit out of family stuff. My wife does get overwhelmed by my mom, and everyone tends to gather around my mom, so our therapist suggested that she bring something she can do when she needs a break, so she has been bringing crochet. My mom got annoyed by this and said it was rude and something a 5-year-old would do, and said if she ever brought something to our house and tried to go into the other room and ignore us, we would raise hell. To be fair, that is kind of true. My wife is really big on manners but doesn't always uphold the standards she holds my mom to, so I told my mom that wasn't true. I joked my mom could learn how to crochet because none of her hobbies are something you can bring to someone else's house. Recently we hosted a family get-together and my mom had a large bag when she showed up. I honestly didn't think anything of it. We were all outside and my mom casually told me she needed a break, so I said that was perfectly fine. See, no double standard, she can go inside and chill. My uncle later went in to get a beer and came out laughing and said, "I need to see what my mom is doing." My wife and I ran inside and my mom was working on an art project at our coffee table. She had resin, glitter, beads, shells, and my wife lost it and began screaming. My mom said we were being hypocrites and she was doing exactly what my wife did. Her hobby is just messier. I told her to get out, cussed at her, and said she was banned. She said okay and then told us the glitter on the floor isn't her fault, her husband did that. I told her to get the frick out and never come back. She got glitter and tiny beads on the rug and resin on the table. My aunt and uncle defended her and said I was being unfair and my wife is super rude to bring crochet to family stuff. My aunt said if my mom is banned from our house, we are banned from hers and I can't go to Thanksgiving. My cousins tried to defend me, but my aunt was serious. Even my cousins after the fact said it was kind of funny and not that big of a deal. Edit. Previously, we did get mad at my mom for trying to remove herself from situations. She also calls my mom out every time she is rude. But to be honest, can be pretty rude to my mom as well. She also got mad that my mom wouldn't eat her cooking and called her a toddler, but went to my mom's feast of 7 fishes on Christmas Eve and was gagging because she hates seafood. Biggest blowout was probably when my wife got mad at my mom for jumping into some guy's arms and kissing him, and then later that night sat on my lap in front of everyone, and my mom was like, "What the frick?" My wife totally missed the point and was like, "Are you jealous because I took your son?" My mom didn't talk to us for a while after that one, and almost skipped out wedding. Not the idiot. Your family dynamic sounds messy, and I'm not just talking about the mess your mom left on your coffee table. What your mom did was deliberate and spiteful to your wife. Your wife is just following her therapist's advice. I don't blame you at all for banning her from your house. Not the idiot. I bring my crocheting with me all the time. It's not considered rude because I sit in the room with everyone else while I'm crocheting. I still hang out and interact with everyone, but I just have my hands occupied. I have lots of other hobbies, but I have never left a mess or glitter bombed in someone's house. That is not even in the same league. That is seriously WTF. Your mom was really out of line with that.